Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a casual look at Addiction Pinball for the PC. Now this is a sort of realistic pinball game created by Team 17, released in the late 90s. It's very similar to games like Pro Pinball. If you've ever played Pro Pinball, you'll feel right at home playing this game. The physics are a little bit different in this game, and I think that's a good thing. I think the ball is a lot more manageable in this game. When you nudge, you can actually see the nudge happening and the ball moving along the table, so you can have some really good ball control in this game. The graphics are great, the sound is alright for what it is, and yeah, I'm actually just very impressed with this game, actually. I had just played it for the very first time this week, decided to finally load it up. Before I actually talk anymore, I'd like to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Jeff, aka Mr. Smith, here on YouTube. Jeff, thanks a lot. For you guys that don't know, back in December, Jeff actually shot me a message on Facebook, said, hey, I found some pinball games for the PC while I was thrift shopping, and he was like, let me send them to you if you don't have them. And I was like, sweet, I'll take them. I love pinball games, and I love trying out pinball games I haven't tried. And so he sent them to me, and I've had them for a couple months now. I was a little hesitant to actually load them up, because one of the games was actually 3D Ultra Pinball, NASCAR Pinball. And the other 3D Ultra Pinball games I have in my collection, they don't load on my computer. I'm running Windows 7 x64 or 64-bit edition, so didn't have my hopes set high, so I didn't really put any serious effort into trying these right away. But there was actually a pinball tournament this past weekend that I played in locally, and when I got out of that on Sunday night, I was still really pumped to play more pinball. After 3 days of pinball, I just didn't want to stop, and so I saw I still had Addiction Pinball here, and I decided to go ahead and load it up, give it a shot, and man, I was actually blown away by this game. So let's go ahead and get into the game, and I'll talk about it a little bit more. This game actually has two tables, Rally Fever as well as Worms. Now Worms is obviously based on the game created by Team 17, kind of a cult classic series now. It's a very fun multiplayer sort of strategy hybrid kind of game. But let's go ahead and play Rally Fever first, just so you can see what the graphics and sound are like, things like that. But yeah, I was really blown away by this game, and got hooked to it one of the nights this week. I played it for about an hour or so, which is pretty good for a game I just played for the first time. Normally I'll try a game, play it for like 5-10 minutes, be like, oh, this is cool, I'll come back to it later, and then usually never do, because that's how I am. But I have been playing it throughout the week, and the first time I played it for quite a bit. I was really blown away by this game. The graphics right now, I believe, are set to 1024 by 768, and that resolution is actually only going to be half of that on the video, because I have fraps set to only record at half size for performance reasons and things like that, as well as size reasons. But yeah, this game looks great. I mean, for 1998, when this game came out, the details are immense in this game. If you just look at the ball moving, it's got shadows and so forth and reflections, and that's awesome. I'm pretty sure the Pro Pinball series has that too, but it's been a little while since I played it. But this game looks amazing, to be honest with you. These are all two-dimensional images, probably pre-rendered, and they look great. The graphics in this game, it's the first thing that really stood out to me was the graphics. But the next thing that stood out to me is the physics. The physics are really good in this game. They are, to be honest with you, I think they're actually a little bit better than Pro Pinball. Pro Pinball, I never liked how the flippers act in those games. They felt a little flimsy, and like, you know, if I tried hitting the ball halfway down the flipper, you know, it felt like the ball kind of lagged before it shot up in the air, and the flipper, when I would use them, it almost looked like they wiggled at the very tips of them. I don't think that's really supposed to happen. It doesn't really happen in real pinball. And I mean, I love the Pro Pinball games, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay them at all. They're fantastic games, and I highly recommend them if you want more realistic pinball or more realistic digital pinball. They're most owns if you're fans of digital pinball, to be honest with you. But this game, I think, actually edges those out. I don't have as hard of a time with my shots in this game, and there's a lot of shots to make. There's a lot of shots. I just got multi-ball. Lots of different shots you can make on both tables. I actually really like this rally table because it's kind of straightforward. It's very kind of reminiscent of tables like real tables like Terminator 2, where you've got two main ramps to the left and right, things like that. It's got pretty easy locks to lock your balls for multi-ball, which is cool. And it's got the shot straight up the center, which is nice. And then you can also beat on the shop, they're flashing red lights up there, and it'll open up and give you bonuses and things like that. It's very cool. It's a fairly clever table, and I'm really enjoying this table especially. But that was probably kind of some kind of just tangent, and I completely forgot where I was going with that. But still, point is, I'm really impressed with this game, and I'm really enjoying it. So Jeff, thanks again. This game is great. For those of you guys that really want to try this game out for yourself, I was checking eBay, and it's not an expensive game at all. It's actually fairly cheap. So, you know, and it came in a variety of forms. I think it's on a couple of PC pinball compilations. It's also on, you can just buy the big box version, which I have, and I'll probably show you what the big box version looks like, since Jeff sent it to me, and I'd like to show you the packaging. It's a pretty nice little package, actually. It looks slick, and it's in the good old classic big box style PC packaging. So, anyways, let me go ahead and exit out of this table, and we'll go ahead and play the Worms table so you can see what that's like. And actually, right before I get into that, I'd like to talk just a quick second about some graphics options. Again, I believe it goes up to 1280 by 1024. Actually, no, it looks like 1024 by 768 is as high as it goes, unfortunately. And this is the highest the colors go. You can go down to 256, which is not recommended these days, and you've got various resolute or detail settings, which is also kind of a moot point these days on a modern computer. Although this game does not have as much customizable options as you do in, say, the Pro Pinball games, you've got quite a few views you can choose from, and the coolest one is, just look at it, flipping the table to fit your entire monitor. Now, I have a rotatable PC monitor stand, and so I can actually play it in the vertical mode, and I have to say it is awesome. And to be honest with you, it's actually, the physics feel even more realistic when you play it in the vertical mode. I don't know if it's just how the game works, but it's awesome. If you have a rotatable computer stand, play the game how it's meant to be played, where it stretches the entire monitor. It is just awesome. I'm really glad that option's there. I don't think that option's actually in the Pro Pinball games. So that's something I really wanted to talk about first. But let's go ahead and show you the Worms table before we wrap up here. Now, the interesting thing about the Worms table is that this was actually supposed to come out for the Sega Dreamcast, and it was canceled, unfortunately. However, there is, I believe, a fully playable prototype out there, and it's in someone's hands. I was reading over at Assembler Games. Someone actually got a hold of the Dreamcast version of Worms Pinball, and I don't know, they don't want to release it to the public. So there is a leak of it out there, or a prototype of it out there. It's just a matter of time, hopefully, before someone manages to get a hold of that and leak it out to the general public so we can download it and play it. But it's a real shame that the Dreamcast version actually did not come out, because, again, you guys have seen the physics, you've seen the visuals. It would have made a phenomenal addition to the Dreamcast library, especially considering the Dreamcast only has 2 pinball games, not counting the weird, what was it, Knights table inside Sonic Adventure, that didn't really even feel that great to begin with. But yeah, the Dreamcast, for you guys that don't know, actually had it has the Pro Pinball Trilogy, which I also have in my collection. I'll eventually show you guys that. And it also has a game called Golden Logers in Japan. It was a Japan-only game, and I believe it also came out on the PC. But yeah, the Dreamcast definitely could have used more games like this, and it's a real shame that the Worms Pinball did not come out. But you can at least play it on the PC, if that suits your fancy. I'm sure most of you guys watching this, or that are still watching this, it probably will suit your fancy, because if you're still watching this, you're probably more likely to be into PC games. And But yeah, this game is not expensive these days. I was checking eBay again. You can get the big box version. You can get it on a variety of compilations. It's definitely a pinball game that's well worth it, and especially considering it's still compatible in modern day operating systems, even though I believe I do have it set to compatibility mode right now. I believe compatibility mode for like Windows XP or something like that. But it still works today, and it still plays great. I'm just playing it with the keyboard right now, but I believe you can actually set the controls to use like a gamepad or something like that. So if you got a modern gamepad that has all those shoulder buttons and things like that, that'll probably actually be the more ideal way to play this game. So, but yeah, man, this game is just great. I mean, if you watch me play, you'll notice I can just do the dead flipper bounces where the ball just hits the flipper and it bounces over. I can do post transfers just like that. Well, sort of. It works a lot better on the other table in this game. Let's see if I can actually do it in this on this table. Let me see if I can control the ball. There we go. Post transfer is when you hit the bottom of the slingshot, which is just right there to the right of the ball, and it passes it over to the other flipper. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can do it. Oh, I almost had it. It's very easy to do it on the other table in this game, but on the Worms table, it's not set up to work quite as easily in that manner. So, but you know, you can do tricks like that in this game, and those tricks are really essential to high-level pinball play. You know, managing tricks like that. Basically, ball control. It's very important in pinball, and it's great that you can have those techniques. You can use those techniques in this game, and you know, they feel very realistic as well. There you go. I just let the ball bounce, and it's great, guys. I think this is a fantastic pinball game. Really wish there were more tables. I don't know if there are any other tables in the Addiction Pinball series. I don't know if there was a sequel or anything like that. I have a feeling probably not. But if you know of any follow-ups or anything like that, or any other pinball games that Team 17 made, preferably after this, because you know, I would think that the quality would be at least as good if it came after. But let me know. Post some comments below. And oops. Took my hand off the flipper to scratch my head, and of course that's when the ball comes down. But yeah, phenomenal pinball game, guys. Highly recommend it. Doesn't go for much money. And Jeff, if you're watching, thanks again. I'm having a blast with this game, and you know, if you guys are into pinball games, I highly recommend checking this out. So anyways, guys, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'll be back with some more content sometime soon. For those of you new to my channel, feel free to subscribe, and thank you for doing so if you do. And I'll catch you guys soon. So until then, take care.